The ancient secret that makes you completely immune to narcissistic abuse and turns emotional pain into pure strength. Long ago, in the shadow of Mount Serenity, lived a young scholar named Elias, known throughout his village for his gentle heart and relentless need to understand the world around him. Like many trauma survivors, he believed every painful experience had a reason that would somehow make the emotional wounds heal faster. One autumn morning, while gathering herbs for emotional healing, Elias felt a sharp pain pierce his ankle. A viper, disturbed from its rest, had struck without warning. The venom burned through his veins, like the toxic emotions he'd carried from past betrayals. But instead of seeking the village healer, Elias did something that nearly cost him everything. Something that mirrors what millions do when dealing with narcissistic abuse and emotional trauma. He chased the snake. Why? He screamed into the wilderness, stumbling over roots and stones like someone trapped in toxic relationships, desperately seeking closure. I meant you no harm. I need to understand. This is the trap that keeps abuse survivors stuck. The belief that understanding why toxic people hurt us will somehow lessen the emotional pain. But as Elias would learn, this obsession with answers becomes its own poison. For hours he searched, his body weakening with each step, the venom spreading deeper. His legs swelled, his vision blurred. Still, he refused to stop. Just like those caught in cycles of trauma bonding and codependency. There has to be a reason, he gasped, collapsing beside a weathered stone. Nothing happens without purpose. That's when the old mountain keeper appeared, a figure so still he seemed carved from the very rocks themselves, representing the inner peace that comes from self-love and personal growth. Young man, the keeper's voice was like wind through ancient trees. What are you doing? A snake bit me, Elias panted, his words slurred with pain. I need to know why. I can't accept this without understanding. The keeper knelt beside him, examining the wound with knowing eyes, the same way a trauma recovery specialist might assess emotional wounds from gaslighting and manipulation. While you chase your why, the venom claims more of your life. Tell me, what matters more, finding a reason or saving your life? The keeper's words hit Elias like lightning in a clear sky. For the first time in hours, he stopped, really stopped. And in that silence, he felt it, the poison coursing through his body, stealing his strength, while he wasted precious time on questions that had no answers. This is the moment every narcissistic abuse survivor must face. The realization that seeking closure from toxic people only prolongs the emotional suffering. Forgiveness, the keeper continued, is not about the snake, it's about you. It doesn't mean the bite was justified, or that your emotional pain doesn't matter. It means you choose healing over hunting, inner peace over poison. The venom of resentment is far more deadly than any serpent's bite. And unlike the snake's poison, this one, you inject into yourself every single day. You choose to chase what hurt you. In that moment, Elias understood what every trauma survivor must learn. He had been poisoning himself. He stopped chasing the snake and started healing from betrayal. Months later, Elias would tell people that the snake saved his mental health, not by biting him, but by teaching him the most dangerous trap of human nature, the belief that understanding our emotional trauma will somehow lessen it. The truth he discovered that day represents the core of trauma recovery. Some hurts from toxic relationships have no why worth knowing. Some narcissistic people strike out from their own emotional wounds, their own fear, their own brokenness. Chasing their reasons is like chasing shadows. You'll exhaust yourself pursuing something that was never meant to be caught. The real power lies in what you do after the emotional abuse. Do you chase the toxic person, or do you focus on healing your inner self? Right now, as you hear this story, ask yourself, what toxic person are you still chasing? What narcissistic abuser who hurt you are you still trying to understand? What painful moment from your past are you replaying, hoping that somehow, this time, it will make sense? The venom of that chase is spreading through your mental health, stealing your inner peace, your joy, your ability to move forward. And the toxic person who hurt you, they've moved on. They're not losing sleep over your emotional pain. They're not chasing you for answers. Only you are still running through that forest, weakening yourself with every step. Here's what Elias learned and what the mountain keeper knew. Forgiveness isn't about toxic people. It's about you choosing to stop drinking the poison and expecting them to die from it. When you forgive, you're not saying what they did was okay. You're saying what they did will no longer control your mental health. You're choosing to heal from trauma instead of hunt, to grow instead of grieve, to live instead of just survive. If this story changed how you handle difficult people, subscribe to Wise Narratives for more life-changing stories that turn struggle into strength. Because every story has a heartbeat, and your transformation story is waiting to be written.